But oh, oh, oh. Okay. Oh, that's tasty. Oh, that. Oh, that's pretty good. Yeah. What's that? What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? What's going on? This is Guinness. It's not Coors Light now. I'm taking a nice cold Guinness. Before you know it, I'm drinking Coors Light. You know me, a Coors Light. I love Coors Light. Just drinking Guinness. Hola, amigo. I'll tell you. Cheers. You come in peace. I'll tell you. It's good, baby. Guinness pretty good. It's good. I'll tell you. I'll tell you. It's beach. I'll tell you. I'll tell you. Cheers. What the fuck is that really? What the fuck is that really? I'll tell you. What's going on, everyone? That's it. Trump will come out. I'm not voting. But, you know, I think I'm not here to talk about politics, even though I had the debate thing. I'm not here to talk about politics. It, Bruno Mars. I think you got a boss. Adios, amigos. It, Bruno Mars. Go to Mars. Oh, it's, I'll tell you, cheers. Let's call that. Let's call that. You call that.
Your thoughts on, you've also prepped Donald Trump for debates back in 2016, I believe. What Donald Trump do you think we'll see tonight? Can he be disciplined?
I'll tell you. Donald Trump, it's gonna be Donald Trump. He's gonna be talking about his meatloaf sandwich tonight. That's what's gonna happen.
I mean, the reality is Donald Trump doesn't have a lot to lose tonight. I mean, his support is almost unmovable. So the second piece is the honeymoon, I think, is over for Kamala Harris. And you all kind of touched on it with Donna. Kamala Harris has to answer for the state of the economy that she took a role in the Biden administration. Her past positions on decriminalizing.
I'll tell you.
Criminalizing certain drugs, what her role was and so really the spotlight is on Kamala Harris tonight because she played a role in the Biden.
Let's call that. Let's call it. Cheers, everyone. Let's,
This is where the folks are going to be. A lot to answer for tonight.
No politics. I'm not gonna talk about the politics.
Will be or actually should be.
Well, one of the things he wants to do is have female voters looking at how does he attract female voters.
Yeah, excuse my birthday, John. Sorry about it. Let's call that. Look, that's cool. That's look at it. That's not gonna lie. I mean, how much colder can you get that beer right there? Look at cold that. That's a cold light right there. Oh, that feels wonderful. That feels wonderful. I'll tell you. Cheers.
And then sit back and let her talk. Let her explain herself, her past positions, current positions. How does she feel about how Biden has done on the economy? How does she feel about the border? Well, then turn it over and let her talk.
Okay, thanks so much for joining us tonight, Dr. Rights. We're all staying tuned. Can't wait.
And I have to say, as we are just
Drax said, fuck. It's, of course, it's Rex. It's small word charters. Cheers. Cheers. I'll tell you. Let's go that. Whoa, let's go. Good. It's gonna be the presidential election tonight. Presidential election is gonna happen tonight. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. You know.
and I have my doubts that we're going to see that handshake, but we are to see this debate and perhaps the most consequential general election debate we have ever seen.
What do you do after the debate?
Going to be the last.
Talk. Hello, this is Donald Trump. This is your Donald Trump speaking. You know. You know what we're gonna do? McDonald's gonna have a limited time offer at Mickey D's. It's gonna be called the Trump meal. The Trump meal. It's gonna feature, a nice good meatloaf sandwich, lettuce, tomato, mayonnaise, the meatloaf. You know what I'm talking about? It's gonna have no dues. It's gonna have my signature Donald J. Trump. It's gonna be a limited time offer for the people. It's gonna be a limited time offer for the people of McDonald's, Mickey D's. Appreciate you. What's yeah.
The candidates separated by the smallest of margins, essentially tied in key battlegrounds.
Why did I during the debate? That's a fact. Yeah, I don't know. Who's here? What the fuck's going on? What the fuck's holy shit? What the fuck? Shit. It's Donald Trump. Yeah, it's Donald Trump. Your captain speaking here. Meatloaf sandwiches for a limited time up here. Meatloaf sandwich. It's gonna be coming your way at McDonald's. Yeah, keep it fresh. You know, everything. Free French fries in the house. You know, peace. What's that? They don't have any Vietnamese McDonald's. Let's call that. Cheers. What's that? It's gonna be a hell of a presidential debate tonight. It's gonna be a hell of a debate. It's gonna be a wonderful debate. Oh my god, it's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be a crazy debate tonight. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens, you know. She's gonna be talking smack like a board game, like Texas Hold'em, you know, Full House. She's gonna be trying to talk like a Full House, but you know what? I'm a four of a kind. You know, yeah, it's everything. You make a fry. Not first. We don't like fries. We call that. Everyone in this chat room is talking like a straight flush. You know? You know? You know what I'm talking about? Maybe a royal flush. One of the best suits out of the whole deck, you know? Okay.
Thank you.
Oh shit, they're about to start talking? Oh, yeah, they're about to start talking now.
Good evening. We are looking forward to a spirited and thoughtful debate.
It's gonna be a very spiritual and thoughtful debate for the people.
Cost of living in this country. Vice President Harris, you and President Trump were elected 4 years ago, and your opponent on the stage here tonight often asks his supporters
What's
than you were 4 years ago. When it comes to the economy, do you believe Americans are better off than they were?
Yeah, y'all say, you know, I'm getting, who the hell's, Matilda,
Actually, the only person on this stage who has a plan that is about lifting up the middle class and working people of America. I believe in the.
oh, here. This is the start of the debate. Now, here it goes.
And that is why I imagine and have actually a plan to build what I call an opportunity economy. Because here's the thing, we know that we have
Yeah.
a shortage of homes and housing. And
Yep, why you
we
using
know
that?
that young families need support to raise their children, and I intend.
This is gonna be Donald Trump. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? This lady over here is horrible thing, horrible situation, horrible for the economy, horrible for the country. You know?
Buy a crib, buy a crisis, buy clothes for their children. My passion, one of them, is small businesses.
This lady's horrible little lady over here. She's a horrible woman.
Called her our second mother. She's a small business owner. I love our small businesses. My plan is to give a $50,000 tax deduction.
You ever thought about doing OnlyFans? What's that? What's OnlyFans?
Backbone of America's economy. My opponent, on the other hand,
Her opponent is Donald Trump. He's a guy.
tax cut for billionaires and big corporations, which will result in $5 trillion to America's deficit.
He'd be good at it. I'll tell you, cheers. Cheers, George. Yo.
Everyday goods that you rely
What's up? Horrible thing. Did you hear that? That's the way she sounds. You know, it's horrible thing.
and about $4,000 more a year because of his policies and his ideas about what should be the backs of middle-class people paying for taxes.
This is gonna be Donald Trump. He's gonna be like, whatever you say, Jennifer Lopez, whatever you say, you know what I'm talking about?
She knows that we're doing tariffs on other countries. Other countries are going to finally, after 75 years, pay us back for all that we've done for the world. And the tariff will be substantial in some cases. I took in billions and
Yeah, I'll
billions of
tell you,
dollars
cheers.
from China.
Cheers.
In fact,
Cheers, China.
it's
Yeah.
their fault because there's so much money they can't
Yeah,
totally
pow,
destroy
pow,
everything that they've set out to do. They're taking in
Vote for
billions of
Trump
dollars
because
from
what the
places
hell's
they
going on?
wouldn't
They
have
just
done. What I have is higher tariffs and more inflation.
drinks on us.
We've had a
So what's Celsius? Celsius what?
inflation which is really known as a country buster. It breaks up countries. We have inflation like very few people have ever seen before. Probably the worst in our nation's history.
It's horrible here. It's horrible. The country's falling apart. It's falling apart left and right in front of our very face. It's horrible. Horrible situation.
Years ago, this has been a disaster for people, for the middle class, but for every class. On top of that, we have millions of people pouring into our country from prisons and jails, from mental institutions, insane asylums, and they're coming in and they're taking jobs that are occupied right now by African Americans and Hispanics, and also unions. Unions are going to be affected very soon. And you see what's happening. You see what's happening with towns throughout the United States. You look at Springfield, Ohio. You look at Aurora in Colorado. They are taking over the towns.
They're taking over the towns. They're taking over the towns everywhere. You know, it doesn't matter where you are. East Coast, West Coast. You're taking over everything. That's what's happening. You know, it's just happening to our country. Horrible, horrible, horrible situation going on right now. Horrible.
We have to get them out fast. I created one of the greatest economies in the history of our country.
Uh,
Do it again and even better. We are going to get to immigration and more clarity during this debate. I would like to let Vice President Harris respond on the economy.
I would love to. Let's talk about what Donald Trump left us. Donald Trump left us the worst unemployment since the Great Depression. Donald Trump left us the worst public health epidemic.
I'll tell you, cheers, man. What's going on? Yeah.
Donald Trump left us.
How's everyone's Tuesday night? How's everybody's Tuesday night? Is it hell of a night? Is it hell of a night for Tuesday night? You know, it's hell of a night. Presidential election night. Let's see what happens.
Donald Trump's mess. What we have done and what I intend to do is build
I'll
on
tell you.
what are the aspirations and the hopes of
Dude, you're really funny. Yeah, cheers.
on this debate.
Cheers, I'll tell you.
You're going
Cheers.
to hear from the same old tired playbook. A bunch of lies, grievances, and name calling. What you're going to hear tonight is a detailed and dangerous plan called Project 2025 that the former president
I'll tell you,
is
cheers.
implementing.
Cheers, Jason.
I believe
Cheers, Jason from Friday 13th. Isn't it?
the president understands the importance
I'll tell you, it's
of
quite a-
bringing us together knowing we have so much
Everything here. Coors Light. Coors Light, the best. Very wonderful beer. Very wonderful beer. Coors Light, everything.
Well, I have nothing to do, as you know, and as she knows better than anyone, I have nothing to do with Project 2025. That's out
Just-
there. I haven't read it. I don't want to read it purposely. I'm not going to read it. This was a group of people that got together. They came up with some ideas. I guess some good, some bad, but it makes no difference. I have nothing.
I'm from Western Pennsylvania. I'm stupid. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? I'm not stupid. I'm actually the brightest person you're ever gonna meet in your whole entire life. Yeah, and look at the eyeballs. He's like, can you even read? Yeah, I can read. I can read my ABCs 1, 2, 3. You'd be surprised. You'd be surprised there. You know. I know. It looks like I can't see much, but yeah, I can read everything. I have 20/20 vision. You know. You know what I'm talking about?
Nobody's ever seen anything like it.
Rock gun. Rock gun. Good.
We got masks, we did things that nobody thought possible. And people give me credit for
I'll
rebuilding.
tell you.
Credit for a lot of things. Not enough credit for the great job we did with the pandemic. But the only jobs they got were bounce back jobs. Good jobs, bounce back, and it bounced back and it went to their benefit. But I was the one that created them. They know it, and so does everybody else. Vice President Harris.
So, Donald Trump has no plan for you. And when you look at his economic plan, it's all about tax breaks for the richest.
Slurp
What I-
the Slurpee from 7-Eleven, ladies and gentlemen.
And the best economists
That's what we talking about. That's what we talking about. You talking about fucking Slurpee from 7-Eleven?
for the
You
future
know
of
me?
America. What Goldman Sachs has said is that
You
Donald
bitch.
Trump's plan
I'll
would
tell you,
make the
cheers.
economy worse, mine would strengthen the economy. What the Wharton School has said is
Cheers.
Donald Trump's plan
Cheers,
will
man.
actually explode the deficit.
I'll tell you.
Nobel laureates have described
Here we
his
go.
economic plan as something that
Cheers.
will increase inflation, and by the middle of next year,
Pow, 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 pow.
You just have to look at where we are.
I'll tell you, shit.
And I've invited you to know that Donald Trump actually has no plan for you because he is more interested in defending himself than he is in looking out for you.
I went to the Wharton School of Finance.
He's a hell of a guy. He's a hell of a guy. Donald Trump's a hell of a guy. You know.
Plan. It's a plan that's going to bring up our worth, our value as a country. It's going to make people want to be able to go and work and create jobs.
I'll tell you, shit.
Good,
Let's call that.
money for our country.
Let's call it. Look at that. Call that.
She
Bush.
doesn't have a plan. She copied Biden's plan, and it's like 4 sentences, like run, spot, run. 4 sentences that just, we'll try and lower taxes. She doesn't have a plan. Take a look at her plan. She doesn't have a plan.
Mr. President, I do want to drill down on something you both brought up. The Vice President brought up your tariffs. You responded.
I'll tell you.
Because your plan
Cheers.
calls is essentially a national sales tax.
Let's go.
It also calls for tariffs, as you pointed out here, on foreign imports across the board. You recently said that you might double your plan, opposing tariffs up to 20% on goods coming into this country. As you know, many economists say that the tariffs at that level of cost are then passed on to the consumer. Vice President Harris has argued it'll be higher taxes on food, clothing, medication, arguing it costs.
Are you a part of the wood? The wood pie? Who's the wood pie?
Or higher prices because of tariffs.
Who's going to have higher prices? Is China?
It's China. China order prices on oil. You imagine getting oil from China? It's gonna cost you about like $7 a gallon for oil from China. Horrible situation.
Those tariffs are there 3.5 years now under their administration. Hundreds of billions of dollars. I had no inflation, virtually no inflation. They had the highest inflation perhaps in the history of our country because I've never seen a worse period of time. People
I'll tell you.
bacon or eggs or anything else. The people of our country are absolutely dying with what they
I like a cold Coors Light on a hot summer day. The cold the weather. I'll tell you.
85 and even 90% that the Trump economy was great, that their economy
Man, I'll tell you.
I want to ask for your response. You heard what the president said there, because the Biden administration did keep a number of the Trump tariffs in place. So how do you?
Okay, everyone say I'm cute. I'm cute. Are you kidding me? Cute. Cute. You know, what are you talking about? It's horrible thing.
Deal with China, what he
Oh,
did
it's,
under Donald Trump's presidency. He ended up
Cannabis. You know what? Cannabis. You know.
helped them
You look here, Bobby. You know, look at this guy. He does look like that. Well, Bobby does look like that too.
wins the competition for the 21st century.
Oh, that's good.
Focusing on the details
I'll
of what
tell
that
you.
requires.
He does look like that. You know, he looks like it.
Focusing on investing in American-based technology so that we win the race on AI and
Alright.
computing. Focusing
I'll
on what
tell
we
you.
need to do
I'll tell you.
for America's workforce so that we don't end up having on the short end of the stick in terms of workers' rights. But what Donald Trump did, let's talk about this, with COVID, is he actually thanked President Xi for what he did during COVID. Look at his tweet. Thank you, President Xi, exclamation point, when we know that Xi was responsible for lacking and not giving us transparency about your origin.
I'll tell you. Cheers, man.
First of all, from
Horrible situation we got going on in our economy, what we got going on in the country, what we got going on in everything. You know, it's horrible. You see the porta potties, they're horrible. It's like, I think even gonna clean the porta potty or just gonna leave it go to shit. That's what they do. It's like our country's going, it's horrible situation.
change it, and it will be the end of our country. She's a Marxist. Her father's a Marxist professor in economics.
Cheers. Let's go out.
But when you look at what she's done to our country, and when you look at these millions and millions of people that are pouring into our country monthly, where it's like 21 million people, not the 15 that people say, and I think it's a lot higher than the 21. That's bigger than New York State pouring in, and just look at what they're doing to
It's just a fact. It's just a fact. Yeah.
That's bad
That's
for the
it.
economy too. You mentioned before, we'll talk about immigration later. Bad immigration is the worst thing that can happen to our economy.
It's everything out there. It's everything that's going on. What's happening to their. No one can eat meatloaf sandwiches. You kidding me? You get free the meatloaf sandwich on the house. If if you vote for me, free meatloaf sandwich for everyone.
Often touted that you were able to kill Roe v. Wade last year.
McDonald's free meatloaf sandwich.
The most pro-life president in American history. Then last month, you said that your administration would be great for women and their reproductive rights. In your home state of Florida, you surprised many with regard to your 6-week abortion ban because you initially had said that it was too short. And you said, quote, I'm going to be voting that we need more than 6 weeks. But then the very next day, you reversed course and said you would vote to support the 6-week ban. Vice President Harris says that women shouldn't trust you on the issue of abortion because you've changed your position so many times. Therefore, why should they trust you?
So the reason I'm doing that vote is because the plan is, as you know, the vote is, they have abortion in the 9th month. They even have it, if you look at the governor of West Virginia, the previous governor of West Virginia, not the current governor, who's doing an excellent job, but the governor before, he said the baby will be born and we will decide what to do with the baby. In other words, we'll execute the baby. And that's why I did that, because that predominates, because they're radical. The Democrats are radical in that. And her vice presidential pick, which I think was a horrible pick, by the way, for our country, because he is really adamant. But her vice presidential pick says abortion in the 9th month is absolutely fine. He also says execution after birth. It's an execution, no longer abortion, because the baby is born is okay. And that's not okay with me, hence the vote. But what I did is something for 52 years. They've been trying to get Roe v. Wade into the states. And through the genius and heart and strength of 6 Supreme Court justices, we were able to do that. Now, I believe in the exceptions for rape, incest, and life of the mother. I believe strongly in it. Ronald Reagan did also. 85% of Republicans do. Exceptions. Very important. But we were able to get it, and now states are voting on it. And for the first time, you're going to see, look, this is an issue that's torn our country apart for 52 years. Every legal scholar, every Democrat, every Republican, liberal, conservative, they all wanted this issue to be brought back to the states where the people could vote. And that's what happened. Now, Ohio, the vote was somewhat liberal. Kansas, the vote was somewhat liberal, much more liberal than people would have thought. But each individual state is voting. It's the vote of the people now. It's not tied up in the federal government. I did
That's it.
courage to do it. And the Supreme Court had great courage in doing it. And I give tremendous credit to those 6 justices.
There is no state in this country where it is legal to kill a baby after it's born. Madam Vice President, I want to give you a response.
Well, as I said, you're going to hear a bunch of lies, and that's not actually a surprising fact. Let's understand how we got here. Donald Trump hand-selected 3 members of the United States Supreme Court with the intention that they would undo the protections of Roe v. Wade. And they did exactly as he intended. And now in over 20 states, there are Trump abortion bans, which make it for a doctor or nurse to provide health care. In one state, it provides prison for life. Trump abortion bans that make no exception even for rape and incest, which understand what that means. A survivor of a crime of violation of their body.
All this politics stuff. This is how I feel about politics. Right? Yada. I don't really even care about this politics stuff. I'm about to end up telling Bobby, like, Bobby, you need to come back down here and just change the channel. Woo! I need to change the channel. Put on some tunes or something. Yeah.
Pregnant women who want to carry
Yeah.
a pregnancy to term,
I'll tell ya.
being denied care in an emergency room.
I think people need to hear. People need to hear the tunes. People need to hear the soul train. Some of the tunes.
A 12 or 13-year-old survivor
So people need to hear the Lucky Smith Soul Train.
to carry a pregnancy to term. They don't
Oh,
want
duh.
And I pledge to you protections of Roe v. Wade. As President of the United States, I will proudly sign it into law. But understand, if Donald Trump were to be reelected, he will sign a national abortion ban. Understand, in his Project 2025, there would be a national abortion, a monitor that would be monitoring your pregnancies, your miscarriages. I think the American people believe that certain freedoms, in particular the freedom to make decisions about one's own body, should not be made by the government.
Thank you, Vice President Harris.
There she goes again. It's a lie. I'm not signing a ban, and there's no reason to sign a ban because we got what everybody wanted. Democrats, Republicans, and everybody else, and every legal scholar wanted it to be brought back into the states. And the states are voting, and it may take a little time, but for 52 years, this issue has torn our country apart, and they wanted it back in the states. And I did something that nobody thought was possible. The states are now voting. What she says is an absolute lie. And as far as the abortion ban, no, I'm not in favor of abortion ban, but it doesn't matter because this issue has now been taken over by the states.
Would you veto a national abortion ban if you
Well, I won't
voted?
have to because again, number one, she said she'll go back to Congress. She'll never get the vote. It's impossible for her to get the vote, especially now with the 50-50, essentially 50-50 in both Senate and the House. She's not going to get the vote. She can't get the vote. She won't even come close to it. So it's just talk. You know what it reminds me of when they said they're going to get student loans terminated, and it ended up being a total catastrophe. The student loans, and then her, I think probably her boss, if you call him a boss, he spends all his time in the bank. Look, her boss went out and said, do it again, do it a different way. He went out, got rejected again by the Supreme Court. So all the students got taunted with this whole thing about this whole idea. And how unfair that would have been, part of the reason they lost, to the millions and millions of people that had to pay off their student loans. They didn't get it for free. But they were saying, it's the same way that they talked about that they talk about abortion.
But if I could just get a yes or no, because your running mate, J.D. Vance, has said that you would veto it if it did come to your desk.
Well, I didn't discuss it with J.D. In all fairness, J.D. And I don't mind if he has a certain view, but I think he'll speak with me. But I really didn't. Look, we don't have to discuss it because she'd never be able to get it, just like she couldn't get student loans. They couldn't get student loans. They didn't even come close to getting student loans. They taunted young people and a lot of other people that had loans. They can never get this approved. So it doesn't matter what she says about going to Congress. Well, wonderful. Let's go to Congress, do it. But the fact is that for years they wanted to get it out of Congress and out of the federal government. And we did something that everybody said couldn't be done. And now you have a vote of the people on abortion.
Vice President Harris, I want to give you your time to respond, but I do want to ask, would you support any restrictions on a woman's right to an abortion?
I absolutely support reinstating the protections of Roe v. Wade. And as you rightly mentioned, nowhere in America is a woman carrying a pregnancy to term and asking for an abortion. That is not happening. It's insulting to the women of America. And understand what has been happening under Donald Trump's abortion bans. Couples who pray and dream of having a family are being denied IVF treatments. What is happening in our country? Working people, working women who are working 1 or 2 jobs, who can barely afford childcare as it is, have to travel to another state to get on a plane sitting next to strangers, to go and get the health care she needs. Barely can afford to do it, and what you are putting her through is unconscionable. And the people of America have not, the majority of Americans believe in a woman's right to make decisions about her own body, and that is why in every state where this issue has been on the ballot, in red and blue states both, the people of America have voted for freedom.
Vice President Harris.
Excuse me, I have to respond. Another lie. It's another lie. I have been a leader on IVF, which is fertilization.
It's a horrible lie. It's a horrible lie for the people. Horrible lie. Lies all around. It's like IHOP lie. International House of Pancakes equals International House of Pain. Horrible lies. Horrible lies everywhere. 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 Horrible lies.
And the other thing,
Horrible thing. Horrible thing.
you should ask.
I'm done.
Abortion in the 8th month, 9th month,
Shit.
7th month. Okay, would you do that? Why don't you ask me that
Why
question?
don't you
That's
answer
the
the
problem.
question with your
Because
veto?
under Roe v.
Answer
Wade,
the question with your
you
veto.
could do abortions in the 7th month, the 8th month, the 9th month, and probably after birth.
It probably
Governor, former governor.
Donald Trump. You see, John, look at Donald Trump.
Said we put the baby aside and then we determine what we want to do with it.
Donald Trump ain't crazy, man. Donald Trump. Donald Trump. Look at meatloaf sandwiches. Meatloaf, the meatloaf sandwich. You know, meatloaf sandwich, Tammy. You know what I'm talking about. Yeah.
This past June, President Biden imposed tough meat stock restrictions. We know the number has been dropped significantly. But my question to you tonight, why did the administration wait until 6 months before the election to act? And would you have done anything differently from President Biden on this?
So I'm the only person on this stage who has prosecuted transnational criminal organizations for the trafficking of guns, drugs, and human beings. And let me say that the United States Congress, including some of the most conservative members of the United States Senate, came up with a border security bill, which I supported. And that bill would have put 1,500 more border agents on the border to help those folks who are working there right now, overtime, trying to do their job. It would have allowed us to stem the flow of fentanyl coming into the United States. I know there are some families watching tonight who have been personally affected by the surge of fentanyl in our country.
Children,
That bill would have put
no
more
matter what,
resources to
when
allow
the
us to
blue
prosecute
bird
transnational criminal organizations.
we choose, that bird is still gonna shine. Oh yeah, it did.
Donald Trump got on the phone.
Yeah, cheers.
Some folks in Congress.
Yeah, Jason. Yes, that's a fact. That's a fact. You know? Yeah, that's the truth. Yeah, it doesn't matter who you vote for. We're all facts. We're facts. Oh shit! Just go to that. Just go to that. We're all facts.
And I'll tell you something, he's gonna talk about immigration a lot tonight, even when it's not the subject that is being raised. And I'm gonna actually do something really unusual. I'm gonna invite you to attend one of Donald Trump's rallies, because it's a really interesting thing to watch. You will see during the course of his rallies, he talks about fictional characters like Hannibal Lecter. He will talk about windmills cause cancer. And what you will also notice is that people start leaving his rallies early out of exhaustion and boredom. And I will tell you, the one thing you will not hear him talk about is you. You will not hear him talk about your needs, your dreams, and your desires. And I'll tell you, I believe you deserve a president who actually puts you first. And I pledge to you that I will.
Vice President Harris, thank you. President Trump, on that point, I want to get your
Well, I
response.
would like to
Let
respond.
me just ask though, why did you try to kill that bill, and successfully so? That would have put thousands of additional agents and officers on the board.
First, let me respond as to the rallies. She said people start leaving. People don't go to her rallies. There's no reason to go. And the people that do go, she's busing them in and paying them to be there. And then showing them in a different light. So she can't talk about that. People don't leave my rallies. We have the biggest rallies, the most incredible rallies in the history of politics. That's because people want to take their country back. Our country is being lost. We're a failing nation. And it happened 3.5 years ago. And what's going on here, you can end up in World War III, just to go into another subject. What they have done to our country by allowing these
So yeah, Donald Trump's going crazy, man. Donald Trump. Look at.
A lot of towns don't want to talk about it because they're so embarrassed by it. In Springfield, they're eating the dogs, the people that came in. They're eating the cats. They're eating the pets of the people that live there. And this is what's happening in our country, and it's a shame. As far as rallies are concerned, as far as the reason they go is they like what I say. They want to bring our country back. They want to make America great again. It's very simple phrase, make America great again. She's destroying this country, and if she becomes president, this country doesn't have a chance of success. Not only success, we'll end up being Venezuela on steroids.
I just want to clarify here, you bring up Springfield, Ohio, and ABC News did reach out to the city manager there. He told us there have been no credible reports of specific claims of pets being harmed, injured, or abused by individuals within the immigrant community.
Well, I've seen people on television.
Let me just say here, this is
The people on television say my dog was taken and used for food, so maybe he said that, maybe that's a good thing to say for a city manager.
I'm not taking this from
But the
television.
people on
I'm taking it from
television
the
say
city
that
manager.
dog was eaten by the people that went there.
Again, Springfield city manager says there's no evidence of that. Vice
We'll
President
find
Harris,
out.
I'll let you respond to the rest of what you've heard.
You talk about extreme. I think one of the reasons why in this election, I actually have the endorsement of 200 Republicans who have formerly worked with President Bush, Mitt Romney, and John McCain, including the endorsement of former Vice President Dick Cheney and Congress member Liz Cheney. And if you want to really know the inside track on who the former president is, if you didn't make it clear already, just ask people who have worked with him. His former chief of staff, a four-star general, has been the Constitution of the United States. His former national security advisor has said he's dangerous and unfit. His former secretary of defense has said that maybe
Where are you
the
working?
republic would never survive another.
We have hell blaze, hell blaze.
And when we listen to this kind of rhetoric, when the issues that affect the American people are not being addressed, I think the choice is clear in this election.
President Trump, will give you a quick minute to respond.
Yeah. Thank you, because when I hear that, see, I'm a different kind of a person. I fired most of those people, not so graciously, they did bad things or a bad job. They never fired.
He also, what up? I'm just chilling, I'm just chilling. I'm just chilling, watch, is this the presidential election? What the hell is this? Donald Trump speaking that. Oh my god, it's pretty good. What's going on?
Competently handled situations anybody has ever seen. So when somebody does a bad job, I fire him. And you take a guy like Esper, he was no good, I fired him, so he writes books. Because with me, they can write books, and nobody else can they?
Yeah, make a name for the face.
Never fire anybody. Look at the economy, look at the inflation. They didn't fire any of their economists, they have the same people. That's a good way not to have books written about you. But just to finish, I got more votes than any Republican in history by far. In fact, I got more votes than any sitting president in history by far.
Let me continue on immigration. This is what we wanted to talk about earlier, so let's get back to your deportation.
I'll tell you,
proposal.
you ain't make a name for it.
You call this the largest domestic deportation operation in the history of our country. You say you would use the National Guard. You say if things get out of control, you have
I'll tell you.
U.S. military. You also said you would use local police. How would you deport 11 million undocumented immigrants? I know you believe that number is much higher. Take us through this. What does this look like? Will authorities be going door to door in this country?
Yeah. It is much higher because of them. They allowed criminals, many millions of criminals. They allowed terrorists. They allowed common street criminals. They allowed people to come in, drug dealers, to come into our country. And then now in the United States and told by their countries like Venezuela, don't ever come back or we're going to kill you. Do you know that crime in Venezuela and crime in countries all over the world is way down?
That's horrible.
Because they've taken their criminals and given them to her to put into our country. And this will be one of the greatest mistakes in history for them to allow.
Yes. And that's dude, I'm very smart. I'm a very smart person. What are you talking about? Horrible situation.
Anything done like this at all. They've destroyed the fabric of our country. Millions of people let in. And all over the world, crime is down. All over the world except here. Crime here is up and through the roof. Despite their fraudulent statements that they made, crime in this country is through the roof. And we have a new form of crime. It's called migrant crime. And it's happening at levels that nobody thought possible.
As you know, the FBI says overall violent crime is actually coming down in this country. But
Excuse me, the FBI they were defrauding statements. They didn't include the word worst cities. They didn't include the cities with the worst crime. It was a fraud. Just like their number of 818,000 jobs that they said they created turned out to be fraud.
Cheers, cheers, everyone. I'll tell
I
you.
think this is so rich, coming from someone who's been prosecuted for national security crimes, economic crimes, election interference, has been found liable for sexual assault, and his next big court appearance is in November at his own criminal sentencing. And let's be clear, where each person stands on the issue of what is important about respect for the rule of law and respect for law enforcement. The former vice president called for defunding federal law enforcement, 45,000 agents. It says on the day after he was arraigned on 34 felony counts. So let's talk about what is important in this race. It is important that we move forward, that we turn the page on the same old tired rhetoric and address the needs of the American people, address what we need to do about the
What the hell's going on here? What the fuck is going on? What the fuck is the hell's going on?
to support
Yay.
small businesses, address bringing
What the hell's happening?
groceries.
Yo,
But frankly, the American people are exhausted.
I'll tell you.
Same old argument.
Yeah, what's going on? What's going on, everyone?
Excuse me, every one of those cases was
I'll
started.
tell you. Elon Musk. You think I'm Elon Musk? You think I'm Elon Musk? Hey.
Decision that came down just recently from the Supreme Court.
It's fun to speak. It's speak. Oh my god, it's pretty crazy stuff. Pretty crazy
Never
stuff.
happened in this country.
Elon Musk. Everyone thinks I'm Elon Musk,
Every
you
one of
know?
those cases was involved with the DOJ, from Atlanta and Fani Willis to the Attorney General of New York and the DA in New York. Every one of those cases. And then
What
they
the?
say, oh,
Shit.
he's a criminal. They're the ones that made them go after me. By the way, Joe Biden was found essentially guilty on the documents case. And what happened in my documents case? They said, oh, that's the toughest of them all. A complete and total victory 2 months ago. It was
What's that?
It's weaponization, and they used it, and it's never happened in this country. They used it to try and win an election. They're fake cases.
President Trump, thank you. A really quick response here, Vice President Harris, on this notion of weaponization of justice.
Well, let's talk about extremes and understand the context in which this election in 2024 is taking place.
I'll tell you. Cheers. Jackson 5.
That the former
Jackson 5 or Raptors. Let's go.
from any
It's
misconduct
true.
if he were to enter the White House again. Understand that this is someone who has openly said he would terminate, I'm quoting, terminate the Constitution of the United States. That he would weaponize the Department of Justice against his political enemies. Someone who has openly expressed disdain for members of our military. Understand what it would mean if Donald Trump were back in the White House with no guardrails. Because certainly we know now the court won't stop him. We know J.D. Vance is not going to stop him.
I'll tell you.
It's the American
I'll
people.
tell you. What's going on? What's going on?
In your last run for president.
I'll tell you.
The one that weaponized.
Cheers. Cheers, Chris.
Weaponized. I probably took a bullet to the head because of the things that they say about me. They talk about democracy. I'm a threat to democracy. They're the threat to democracy.
Oh, Peggy Hill. Yo, what's going on, Peggy Hill? Yo. Peggy Hill, what's up?
Vice President Harris, in your last
That's it. What's up, Bobby? Bobby finally got a Julie Peggy. I'll tell you.
government buyback programs for assault weapons.
That's it, cheers.
Campaign says you don't. You supported
This
decriminalizing
is-
border crossings. Now
I'm completely sober. Ain't that right, Peggy? I'm completely sober.
So then why have so many of your policy positions changed?
So, my
That's
values
it, cheers.
and I'm going to discuss every
You can smell it through the screen while I smell it. I smell like something. Hey.
I made that very clear in 2020.
What the fuck? I smell it. What I smell it? What I smell it? Hey.
President of the United States, and in fact, I was the tie-breaking vote
Oh,
on the Inflation Reduction Act.
What language am I speaking? Oh, Spanish. I'm speaking Spanish.
My position
Shirty, no, and I'm gonna shirty, no shirties for you, no. You have to go to empty closets or something like that, like the bar. Check that place out.
increase in
They'll help you out.
domestic wealth production in history.
I'll tell you. Do,
Let
do.
me tell you, I grew up a middle-class kid raised by a hardworking mother who worked and saved and was able to buy our first home when I was a teenager.
Cheers.
To the importance of home ownership, knowing I
Please,
had
I'm speaking Spanish.
$400 million on a silver platter and then filed bankruptcy 6 times.
Hello, say, who the hell is that?
To my work to say we are going to work with the private sector and home builders to increase 3 million
Papa.
increase by 3 million
Papa.
by the end of my first term.
Chris Kelly.
My work that is related to
Cheers.
a friend when I was
Cheers.
in high school who was sexually assaulted by her stepfather.
What's
My
about it?
focus then
Goodbye.
on protecting women and
What's all
children
good?
from violent crime is based on a value that is deeply grounded in the importance of standing up for those who are most vulnerable. My work that is about protecting Social Security and Medicare
Yep.
is based on long-standing work that I have
Chris
done.
Kelly, yo, anyone, what's up? Oh, Peggy Hill. That's one of Peggy Hill. That's it, Peggy Hill. We praying for Bobby. You praying for Bobby to finally get out of juvie. Peggy, keep the prayers up for Bobby for juvie. I hope he does good in there, Peggy. I hope he behaves like a good boy down the juvie, Peggy. I'm telling you. Yeah. Keep the prayers up for Bobby. Bobby's still in juvie.
I wish I was. My father was in Brooklyn, Queens. I had a great father.
Yeah,
I was
tell it.
given a fraction
What the hell are you talking about?
and I built it into many,
I love that. Yeah, Peg. Peg had found us at the Superwoman.
So we don't have to talk about that. Fracking, she's been
I
against
found it
it
there.
for years.
It's,
Defund the police, she's been against that forever. She gave all that.
I was a big boy now. And Peg, I don't think about him being a big boy anymore.
Okay, they're all laughing at it. She gave up.
He's still little. He's still little to me, Peg.
Different policies. Like, she was big on defund
That's
the police.
it.
In Minnesota, she went out, wait a minute, I'm talking.
Hey, okay. I'm okay. You can't wait. Everybody's talking. What are you talking?
She went out in Minnesota and wanted to let criminals that killed people,
Yeah.
that burned down Minneapolis, she went out and raised money to get them out of jail. She did things that nobody would ever think of. Now she wants to do transgender operations.
Are you kidding me? What's going on here? What's going on here? What's wrong with the people? What?
That would do this.
Everyone's talking shit in the Lucky Smith room. Are you kidding me?
Fracking in Pennsylvania. If she won the election, fracking in Pennsylvania will end on day one. Just to finish one thing, so important in my opinion. So I got the oil business going like nobody has ever done before. When they took over, they got rid of it, started getting rid of it, and the prices were going up the roof. They immediately let these guys go to where they were.
You know what I'm talking about? What the hell's happening?
4 times, 5 times more, because you're talking about 3.5 years ago. They got it up to where I was because they had no choice, because the prices of energy were quadrupling, doubling, so rapidly. So they said, let's go back to Trump. If she won the election, the day after that election, they'll go back to destroying our country, and oil will be dead, fossil fuel will be dead, we'll go back to windmills, and we'll go back to solar, where they need a whole desert to get some energy to come out. You ever see a solar plant? By the way, I'm a big fan of solar, but they take 400, 500 acres of desert soil. These are not good things for the environment. They should understand.
Thank you.
Lindsay, thank you. We have an election in just 56 days. And I want to talk about the peaceful transfer of power, which, of course, we all know is a cornerstone of our democracy, and the role of the president in a moment of crisis. Mr. President, on January 6th, you told your supporters to march to the Capitol. You said you would be right there with them. The country and the world saw what played out at the Capitol that day, the officers coming under attack. Aides in the West Wing say you watched it unfold on television off the Oval Office. You did send out tweets, but it was more than 2 hours before you sent out that video message telling your supporters to go home. Is there anything you regret about what you did on that day?
You just said a thing that isn't covered. Peacefully and patriotically, I said during my speech, not later on. Peacefully and patriotically. And nobody on the other side was killed. Ashley Babbitt was shot by an out-of-control police officer that should have never, ever shot her. It's a disgrace. but we didn't do this group of people that have been treated so badly. I asked, what about all the people that are pouring into our country and killing people that she allowed to pour in? She was the border czar, remember that. She was the border czar. She doesn't want to be called the border czar because she's embarrassed by the border. In fact, she said at the beginning, oh, I'm surprised you're not talking about the border yet. That's because she knows what a bad job they've done. What about those people? When are they going to be prosecuted? When are these people from countries all over the world, not just South America, they're coming in from all over the world, David, all over the world, and crime rates are down all over the world because of it.
But let me just
when are those, David, when are those people going to be prosecuted? When are the people that burned down Minneapolis going to be prosecuted? Or in Seattle, they went into Seattle, they took over a big percentage of the city of Seattle. When are those people going to be prosecuted?
But let me just ask
You might ask her that question.
You were the president. You were watching it unfold on television. It's a very simple question as we move forward toward another election. Is there anything you regret about what you did on that day? Yes,
I had nothing to do with that other than they asked me to make a speech. I showed up for a speech. I said, I think it's going to be big. I went to Nancy Pelosi and the mayor of Washington, D.C., and the mayor put it back in writing, as you know. I said, you know, this is going to be a very big rally or whatever you want to call it. And again, it wasn't done by-
Yeah, is it me or is Donald Trump pissed? Donald Trump's mad, man.
They rejected it. Nancy Pelosi rejected it.
Donald Trump looks mad. He looks
There's
mad.
a tape of her saying she is fully responsible for what happened. I want to hear that tape.
Donald Trump's losing it on that guy from ABC's News, right?
Mayor of Washington did their jobs. I wasn't responsible for security. Nancy Pelosi was responsible. She didn't do her job.
the question was about you as president, not former Speaker Pelosi, but I do want Vice President Harris to respond here.
I was at the Capitol on January 6th. I was the vice president-elect. I was also an acting senator. I was there. And on that day, the President of the United States incited a violent mob to attack our nation's capital, to desecrate our nation's capital. On that day, 140 law enforcement officers were injured, and some died. And understand, the former president has been indicted and impeached for exactly that reason. But this is not an isolated situation. Let's remember Charlottesville, where there was a mob of people carrying tiki torches, spewing anti-Semitic hate. And what did the president then at the time say? There were fine people on each side. Let's remember that when it came to the Proud Boys, a militia, the former president said, stand back and stand by. So for everyone watching who remembers what January 6th was, I say, we don't have to go back. Let's not go back. We're not going back. It's time to turn the page. And if that was a bridge too far for you, well, there is a place in our campaign for you to stand for country, to stand for our democracy, to stand for rule of law, and to end the chaos, and to end the approach that is about attacking the foundations of our democracy because you don't like the outcome. And be clear on that point. Donald Trump, the candidate, has said in this election there will be a bloodbath if this and the outcome of this election is not to his liking. Let's turn the page on this. Let's not go back. Let's chart a course for the future and not go backwards to the past.
Let me just follow up here.
It was a different term, and it was a term that related to energy because they have destroyed our energy business. That was where bloodbath was. Also, on Charlottesville, that story has been, as you would say, debunked. Laura Ingraham, Sean Hannity, Jessica, all of these people, they covered it. If they go an extra sentence, they will see it was perfect. It was debunked in almost every newspaper, but they still bring it up, just like they bring 2025 up. They bring all of the stuff up. I ask you this, you talk about the Capitol. Why are we allowing...
What the hell's going on here? What the hell's going on here? He did everything.
And I'll tell you what I would do, and I would be very proud to do it. I would say we would both lead this debate right now. I'd like to see you go down to Washington, D.C.
Okay,
Wasting a lot of time. Go down to, because it's so bad, it's so ridiculous. Go down to Washington, D.C. and let her sign a bill to close up the border, because they have the right to do it. They don't need bills. They have the right to do it. The President of the United States, you'll get him out of bed, you'll wake him up at 4 o'clock in the morning. Say, come on, let's sign a bill. If he signs a bill that the border is closed, all he has to do is say it to the Border Patrol, who are phenomenal. If they do that, the border is closed. Those people are killing many people, unlike J6.
We talked immigration here tonight. I do want to focus on this next issue because it really brings us this into focus, truth in these times that we're living in. Mr. President, for 3.5 years after you lost the 2020 election, you repeatedly falsely claimed that you won, many times saying you won in a landslide. In the past couple of weeks leading up to this debate, you have said, quote, you lost by a whisker, that you, quote, didn't quite make it, and you came up a little bit short. Are you now acknowledging that you lost in 2020?
You said that sarcastically, because it was said, oh, we lost by a whisker. That was said sarcastically. Look, there's so much proof. All you have to do is look at it, and they should have sent it back to the legislatures for approval. I got almost 75 million votes, the most votes any sitting president has ever gotten. I was told that I got 63, which was what I got in 2016. You can't be beaten. The election, people should never be thinking about an election as fraudulent. We need two things. We need walls, and we have to have it. We have to have borders, and we have to have good elections. Our elections are bad. And a lot of these illegal immigrants coming in, they're trying to get them to vote. They can't even speak English. They don't even know what country they're in practically. And these people are trying to get them to vote. And that's why they're allowing them to come into our country.
I did watch all of these pieces of video. I didn't detect the sarcasm, lost by a whisker. We didn't quite make it. And we should just point out here as clarification, and you know this, you and your allies, 60 cases in front of many judges, many of them.
No judge looked at it. And so they said we didn't have standing. That's the other thing. They said we didn't have standing, a technicality. Can you imagine a system where a person in an election doesn't have standing? The President of the United States doesn't have standing. That's how we lost. If you look at the facts, and I'd love to have you do a special on it, I'll show you Georgia, and I'll show you Wisconsin, and I'll show you Pennsylvania, and I'll show you, we have so many facts and statistics, but you know what? That doesn't matter, because we have to solve the problem that we have right now. That's old news. And the problem that we have right now is we have a nation in decline, and they have put it into decline. We have a nation that is dying, David.
Mr. President, thank you. Vice President Harris, you heard the President there tonight. He said he didn't say that he lost by a whisker, so he still believes he did not lose the election that was won by President Biden and yourself. But I do want to ask you about something that's come up in the last couple of days. This was a post from President Trump about this upcoming election just weeks away. He said, when I win, those people who cheated, and then he lists donors, voters, election officials, he says will be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law, which will include long-term prison sentences. One of your campaign's top lawyers responded saying, we won't let Donald Trump intimidate us, we won't let him suppress the vote. Is that what you believe he's trying to do?
Donald Trump was fired by 81 million people. So let's be clear about that. And clearly he is having a very difficult time processing that. But we cannot afford to have a president of the United States who attempts, as he did in the past, to upend the will of the voters in a free and fair election. And I'm going to tell you that I have traveled the world as Vice President of the United States. And world leaders are laughing at Donald Trump. I have talked with military leaders, some of whom work with you, and they say you're a disgrace. And when you then talk in this way in a presidential debate and deny what over and over again are court cases you have lost because you did in fact lose that election, it leads one to believe that perhaps we do not have in the candidate to my right the temperament or the ability to not be confused about fact. That's deeply troubling, and the American people deserve better.
I'll give you 1 minute response.
Let me just say about world leaders. Viktor Orban, one of the most respected men, they call him a strong man. He's a tough person, smart. Prime Minister of Hungary. They said, why is the whole world blowing up? 3 years ago it wasn't. Why is it blowing up? He said, because you need Trump back as president. They were afraid of him. China was afraid, and I don't like to use the word afraid, but I'm just quoting him. China was afraid of him. North Korea was afraid of him. Look at what's going on with North Korea, by the way. He said Russia was afraid of him. I ended the Nord Stream 2 pipeline, and Biden put it back on day one, but he ended the XL pipeline. The XL pipeline in our country, he ended that. But he let the Russians build a pipeline going all over Europe and heading into Germany, the biggest pipeline in the world. Look, Viktor Orban said it. He said the most respected, most feared person is Donald Trump. We had no problems when Trump was president, but when this weak, pathetic man that you saw at a debate just a few months ago, that if you weren't in that debate, he'd be running instead of her. She got no votes. He got 14 million votes. What you did, you talk about a threat to democracy. He got 14 million votes, and they threw him out of office. And you know what? I'll give you a little secret. He hates her. He can't stand her. But he got 14 million votes. They threw him out. She got 0 votes. And when she ran, she was the first one to leave because she failed. And now she's running. I don't understand it, but I'm okay with it because
Your time
I
is up.
think we're going to do very well.
We've got a lot more to get to.
Turning now to the Israel-Hamas war and the hostages who are still being held, Americans among them. Vice President Harris, in December, you said, quote, Israel has a right to defend itself, but you added, quote, it matters how, saying international humanitarian law must be respected, Israel must do more to protect innocent civilians. You said that 9 months ago. Now an estimated 40,000 Palestinians are dead, nearly 100 hostages remain. Just last week, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said there's not a deal in the making. President Biden has not been able to break through the stalemate. How would you do it?
Well, let's understand how we got here. On October 7th, Hamas, a terrorist organization, slaughtered 1,200 Israelis. Many of them young people who were simply attending a concert. Women were horribly raped. And so absolutely, I said then, I say now, Israel has a right to defend itself. We would. And how it does so matters. Because it is also true, far too many innocent Palestinians have been killed. Children, mothers. What we know is that this war must end. It must end immediately, and the way it will end is we need a ceasefire deal and we need the hostages out. And so we will continue to work around the clock on that. Work around the clock, also understanding that we must chart a course for a two-state solution. And in that solution, there must be security for the Israeli people and Israel, and an equal measure for the Palestinians. But the one thing I will assure you always, I will always give Israel the ability to defend itself, in particular as it relates to Iran and any threat that Iran and its proxies pose to Israel. But we must have a two-state solution where we can rebuild Gaza, where the Palestinians have security, self-determination, and the dignity they so rightly deserve.
President Trump, how would you negotiate with Netanyahu and also Hamas in order to get the hostages out and prevent the killing of more innocent civilians in Gaza?
If I were president, it would have never started. If I were president, Russia would have never, ever, I know Putin very well, he would have never, and there was no threat of it either, by the way, for 4 years, have gone into Ukraine and killed millions of people when you add it up. Far worse than people understand what's going on over there. But when she mentions about Israel, all of a sudden, she hates Israel. She wouldn't even meet with Netanyahu when he went to Congress to make a very important speech. She refused to be there because she was at a sorority party of hers. She wanted to go to the sorority party. She hates Israel. If she's president, I believe that Israel will not exist within 2 years from now. And I've been pretty good at predictions, and I hope I'm wrong about that one. She hates Israel. At the same time, in her own way, she hates the Arab population because the whole place is going to get blown up. Arabs, Jewish people, Israel will be gone. It would have never happened. Iran was broke under Donald Trump. Now Iran has $300 billion because they took off all the sanctions that I had. Iran had no money for Hamas or Hezbollah or any of the 28 different spheres of terror, and they are spheres of terror, horrible terror. They had no money. It was a big story, and you know it. You covered it very well, actually. They had no money for terror. They were broke. Now they're a rich nation, and now what they're doing is they're spreading that money around. Look at what's happening with the Houthis and Yemen. Look at what's going on in the Middle East. This would have never happened. I will get that settled and fast, and I'll get the war with Ukraine and Russia ended. If I'm president-elect, I'll get it done before even becoming president.
Vice President Harris, he says you hate Israel.
That's absolutely not true. I have my entire career and life supported Israel and the Israeli people. He knows that. He's trying to, again, divide and distract from the reality, which is, it is very well known that Donald Trump is weak and wrong on national security and foreign policy. It is well known that he admires dictators, wants to be a dictator on day one, according to himself. It is well known that he said of Putin that he can do whatever the hell he wants and go into Ukraine. It is well known that he said when Russia went into Ukraine, it was brilliant. It is well known he exchanged love letters with Kim Jong-un. And it is absolutely well known that these dictators and autocrats are rooting for you to be president again because they're so clear. They can manipulate you with flattery and favors. And that is why so many military leaders who you have worked with have told me you are a disgrace. That is why we understand that we have to have a president who is not consistently weak and wrong on national security, including the importance of upholding and respecting in highest regard our military.
Vice President Harris, thank you.
And she's the one that caused it. That's weak on national security by allowing every nation last month for the year, 168 different countries sending people into our country. Their crime rates are way down. Putin endorsed her last week, said, I hope she wins. And I think he meant it, because what he's gotten away with is absolutely incredible. It wouldn't have happened with me. The leaders of other countries think that they're weak and incompetent, and they are. They're grossly incompetent. And I just ask one question. Why does Biden go in and kill the Keystone Pipeline and approve the single biggest deal that Russia's ever made, Nord Stream 2, the biggest pipeline anywhere in the world going to Germany and all over Europe? Because they're weak and they're ineffective. And Biden, by the way, gets paid a lot of money.
Thank you. We have a lot of issues to get to.
We'll be right back with much more of this historic ABC News presidential debate from the National Constitution Center right here in Philadelphia. Back in a moment.
The ABC News presidential debate will continue after this.
Oh, they're rich.
We are the perfect family.
Kill someone and get away with it, rich.
Is there something that you want to tell me?
They're covering something up.
This is how they do things.
They can arrest me, but they won't, because I'm like them.
I'm done with living the lies. Done.
And there is forgiveness, and it's going to be fantastic.
This whale is unaware it's being exploited for financial advertising. Look at this city little sailor. These men of means with their silver spoons eating up the financial favors of the 1%. What would become of them? And in this cover, Robin Hood Gold allows others to earn their very liberal rates on idle cash and unlimited deposit bonuses. They would descend into chaos. Merciless chaos.
New season finale is upon us!
It's fresh bread, early meat, veggies.
What a beast!
There's always at Simplicity, we build advanced security sensors and cameras for your whole home, powered by the 24/7 monitoring and fast protect technology, exclusively from Simplicity for faster police response. There's no safe like Simplicity.
Vote Cheddar Bay 2024, because when Red Lobster's biscuits rise, America Change the win 4 years of freedom for Lobster, because one night can unite all parties, at least for dinner.
Sure, this prints business cards, but we also print these and those. And engrave that. We print your brand on everything, so customers notice you, remember you, and fall in love with you. If you need it, we print it with 25% off for new customers at thisprint.com.
Nobody knew I existed. But look at all these people. Who do you think they see?
You do, Kurt. I'd do anything for you.
People believe art reflects to be some kind of mark. Well, he's not. You don't think this is me?
Rated R. ABC's David Muir, the most watched newscast in America.
Doctor, welcome aboard the Odyssey.
Our mission is to preserve the dream. That's why you're here. Keep these dreamers safe. I'm in.
Nice to meet you. My name is David. I've been a pharmacist for 44 years. When I have customers come in and ask for something for memory, I recommend Prevagen. Number one, because it's safe and effective, does not require prescription. And I've been taking it quite a while myself, and I know it works. And I love it when the customers come back in and tell me, David, that really worked so good for me. Makes my day.
Prevagen, at stores everywhere without a prescription.
We are a better kind of different. We are what feeling right at home feels like when you're on the road. We are a team of chefs preparing craveable and inspiring recipes. We are where busy people don't have to sacrifice fresh food for convenience. We are a curated marketplace that surprises and delights. We are craft roasted coffee beans, ground, pressed, and poured before your eyes. We are a masterclass in made to order. We are the difference between being full and being fulfilled. We are what going above and beyond feels and tastes like. We are All Town Fresh, a fresh take on everything.
Watch Good Morning Connecticut, weekdays starting at 4 a.m. on News 8.
Live from the National Constitution Center in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Here again, David Muir and Lindsay Davis.
Welcome back to this historic ABC News presidential debate tonight. We're going to continue here, and I want to turn to the war in Ukraine. We're now 2.5 years into this conflict. Mr. President, it has been the position of the Biden administration that we must defend Ukraine from Russia and from Vladimir Putin, to defend their sovereignty, their democracy, that it's in America's best interest to do so, arguing that if Putin wins, he may be emboldened to move even further into other countries. You have said you would solve this war in 24 hours. You said so just before the break tonight. How exactly would you do that? And I want to ask you a very simple question tonight. Do you want Ukraine to win this war?
I want the war to stop. I want to save lives that are being uselessly, people being killed by the millions. It's the millions. It's so much worse than the numbers that you're getting, which are fake numbers. Look, we're in for 250 billion or more because they don't ask Europe, which is a much bigger beneficiary to getting this thing done than we are. They're in for $150 billion less because Biden and you don't have the courage to ask Europe like I did with NATO. They paid billions and billions, hundreds of billions of dollars when I said, either you pay up or we're not going to protect you anymore. So that's maybe one of the reasons they don't like me as much as they like weak people. But you take a look at what's happening. We're in for 250 to 275 billion. They're into 100 to 150. They should be forced to equalize. With that being said, I want to get the war settled. I know Zelensky very well, and I know Putin very well. I have a good relationship, and they respect your president, okay? They respect me. They don't respect Biden. How would you respect him? Why? For what reason? He hasn't even made a phone call in 2 years to Putin, hasn't spoken to anybody. They don't even try and get him. That is a war that's dying to be settled. I will get it settled before I even become president. If I win, when I'm president-elect, and what I'll do is I'll speak to one, I'll speak to the other, I'll get them together. That war would have never happened. And in fact, when I saw Putin after I left, unfortunately left because our country has gone to hell. But after I left, when I saw him building up soldiers, he did it after I left. I said, oh, he must be negotiating. It must be a good, strong point of negotiation. Well, it wasn't, because Biden had no idea how to talk to him. He had no idea how to stop it. And now you have millions of people dead, and it's only getting worse, and it could lead to World War III. Don't kid yourself, David. We're playing with World War III, and we have a president that we don't even know if he's. Where is our president? We don't even know if he's a president.
And just to clarify
They
here,
threw him out of a campaign like a dog. We don't even know. Is he our president? But we have a president
Mr. President,
that doesn't know he's alive.
your time is up. Just to clarify the question, do you believe it's in the U.S. best interest for Ukraine to win this war, yes or no?
I think it's the U.S. best interest to get this war finished and just get it done.
All right.
Negotiate a deal, because we have to stop all of these human lives from being destroyed.
I want to take this to Vice President Harris. I want to get your thoughts on support for Ukraine in this moment, but also as Commander-in-Chief, if elected, how would you deal with Vladimir Putin, and would it be any different than what we're seeing from President Biden?
Well, first of all, it's important to remind the former president, you're not running against Joe Biden, you're running against me. I believe the reason that Donald Trump says that this war would be over within 24 hours is because he would just give it up. And that's not who we are as Americans. Let's understand what happened here. I actually met with Zelensky a few days before Russia invaded, tried through force to change territorial boundaries, to defy one of the most important international rules and norms, which is the importance of sovereignty and territorial integrity. And I met with President Zelensky. I shared with him American intelligence about how he could defend himself. Days later, I went to NATO's eastern flank, to Poland and Romania. And through the work that I and others did, we brought 50 countries together to support Ukraine in its righteous defense. And because of our support, because of the air defense, the ammunition, the artillery, the javelins, the Abrams tanks that we have provided, Ukraine stands as an independent and free country. If Donald Trump were president, Putin would be sitting in Kyiv right now. And understand what that would mean, because Putin's agenda is not just about Ukraine. Understand why the European allies and our NATO allies are so thankful that you are no longer president, and that we understand the importance of the greatest military alliance the world has ever known, which is NATO, and what we have done to preserve the ability of Zelensky and the Ukrainians to fight for their independence. Otherwise, Putin would be sitting in Kyiv with his eyes on the rest of Europe, starting with Poland. And why don't you tell the 800,000 Polish Americans right here in Pennsylvania how quickly you would give up for the sake of favor and what you think is a friendship with what is known to be a dictator who would eat you for lunch.
Vice President Harris, thank you. We've heard from both of you on Ukraine tonight. Afghanistan came up in the last hour. I wanted her to respond to something you said earlier, and please, I'll give you a minute here.
Putin would be sitting in Moscow, and he wouldn't have lost 300,000 men and women, but he would have been sitting in Moscow, quiet please, he would have been sitting in Moscow much happier than he is right now. But eventually, he's got a thing that other people don't have. He's got nuclear weapons. You don't have to talk about that. He's got nuclear weapons. Nobody ever thinks about that. And eventually, maybe he'll use them, and maybe he hasn't been that threatening, but he does have that. Something we don't even like to talk about. Nobody likes to talk about it. But just so you understand, they sent her to negotiate peace before this war started. 3 days later, he went in and he started the war, because everything they said was weak and stupid. They said the wrong things. That war should have never started. She was the emissary. They sent her in to negotiate with Zelensky and Putin, and she did. And the war started 3 days later. And that's the kind of talent we have with her. She's worse than Biden. In my opinion, I think he's the worst president in the history of our country. She goes down as the worst vice president in the history of our country. But let me tell you something. She is a horrible negotiator. They sent her in to negotiate. As soon as they left, Putin did the invasion.
President Trump, thank you. You did bring up something. You said she went to negotiate with Vladimir Putin. Vice President Harris, have you ever met Vladimir Putin? Can we clarify tonight?
Yet again, I said it, being I hear a bunch of lies coming from this fellow. And that is another one. When I went to meet with President Zelensky, I now met with him over 5 times. The reality is, it has been about standing as America always should, as a leader, upholding international rules and norms, as a leader who shows strength, understanding that the alliances we have around the world are dependent on our ability to look out for our friends and not favor our enemies because you adore strongmen instead of caring about democracy. And that is very much what is at stake here. The President of the United States is Commander-in-Chief, and the American people have a right to rely on a president who understands the significance of America's role and responsibility in terms of ensuring that there is stability and ensuring we stand up for our principles and not sell them for the benefit of personal flattery.
We talked about Ukraine and Vladimir Putin. I do want to talk about Afghanistan. It came up in the first hour of this debate. I want to move on to Afghanistan.
Said Trump did the most amazing thing I've ever seen. He got these countries, the 28 countries at the time, to pay up. He said, I've never seen, he's the head of NATO. He said, I've never seen, for years we were paying almost all of NATO. We were being ripped off by European nations, both on trade and on NATO. I got them to pay up. I'm saying, one of the states.
Yeah. Is anyone watching this? If you're watching this, oh. You're watching
One of the most incredible jobs that he's ever seen done.
Thank you. I want to turn to Afghanistan. It came up in the first hour of the debate, and we witnessed a poignant moment today at Capitol Hill, honoring the soldiers who died in the chaotic withdrawal from Afghanistan. I do want to ask you about this. Do you believe you bear any responsibility in the way that withdrawal played out?
Well, I will tell you, I agree with President Biden's decision to pull out of Afghanistan. 4 presidents said they would, and Joe Biden did. And as a result, American taxpayers are not paying for $300 million a day. We were paying for that endless war. And as of today, there is not one member of the United States military who is in active duty in a combat zone in any war zone around the world, the first time this century. Let's understand how we got to where we are. Donald Trump, when he was president, negotiated.
Yo. Politics. I'm not here. I'm not here for. I didn't know our channel's supposed to be. Our channel's not supposed to be about politics. I don't know why the hell this shit's on. I'm not gonna lie. The channel's here for to be drinking beer. I'm not here for politics. I'm not gonna lie. Oh, yeah.
Significance for us as Americans, a place where we honor the importance of American
I'll tell you.
we invite and receive.
That bitch here's the internet. Fuck. Keep letting all the people over here get them done. I'll tell you, Tammy. I'll tell you.
Because he does not again appreciate the role and responsibility of the President of the United States to be Commander-in-Chief with a level of respect.
I'll tell you.
The point of how he has consistently disparaged and demeaned members of our military, fallen soldiers, and the work that we must do to uphold the strength
Tammy, that's not good. They're killing Americans. Yes.
President Trump, your response to her saying you began the negotiations with the Taliban.
So,
That's not good.
if you take a look at that period,
It's like you're like I didn't want to do 24 hours.
the Taliban was killing
Yeah. What's up, Lopez?
a lot of them with snipers.
Yeah. What's up, Lopez? Tammy.
The Taliban.
Tammy, I can tell you drunk too much. You seem stupid. Talk about you stupid.
They don't bother doing that.
You sure you're not the stupid?
Look, I got involved.
You know?
And
That was horrible. Horrible, Tammy. Horrible. Oh hell.
And I told that dude, don't do
Woo.
it anymore. Do it anymore. You're gonna
Lopez, Tammy.
picture of my
Tammy's a horrible thing.
Figure that out after all. And for the
Oh hell.
we had nobody killed.
That was not good. That was not good, Tammy. That was a horrible comment.
It was a very good agreement. The reason it was good, it was
Horrible comment, Tammy. Oh my god.
many Americans behind that. We wouldn't have
You didn't see it, you didn't see it.
85
That was not a good comment.
military equipment behind. And just to finish,
But Peggy, no, but you're a super fun to watch, bro. Your shit, Peggy. Oh, no, it's not Peggy. Oh, Peggy, you got working tomorrow.
was terminated by us.
And it was only 10 o'clock.
Do what they
You
were
know.
supposed to do.
By that time I pass out, it's like around I usually always like pass out like around midnight. You know.
Embarrassing moment in the history of
I'm used to like passing out around midnight. You know what I'm talking about?
because they saw how incompetent
Tammy, whew.
and her boss are.
That was brutal, Tammy.
I want to move on now to race and politics in this country. Mr. President, you recently said of Vice President Harris, quote, I didn't know she was black until a number of years ago when she happened to turn black, and now she wants to be known as black. I want to ask a bigger picture question here tonight. Why do you believe it's appropriate to weigh in on the racial identity of your opponent?
Ew.
I don't care.
Tammy, that's horrible. That's horrible.
I don't care. You make me feel
That was whack. Yeah, Tammy, I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna remember what you just said right there forever. Oh man. Woo. That's not good, Tammy.
and then I read that she was black, and that's okay. I thought it was okay with me. That's up to her. That's up to her.
Vice President Harris, your thoughts?
Bless the dear Lord and all the shepherds, my son.
I mean,
Got time.
tragedy.
Blue collar across 4 hours of sleep, 2 cars and 2 smokes. Yo, Peggy, I'm telling you, Peggy. What's going on, Peggy? I didn't cook the chicken right last night, and I had exposed diarrhea. Lopez, yeah, that sounds funny. Oh, what'd she say? Oh, nothing good. She's like that bitch. I can't say it. It's horrible, Tam. Tam, you know what you said.
And he was investigated because he refused to rent property to black families. Let's remember, this is the same individual who took out a full-page ad in the New York Times calling for the execution of 5 young black and Latino.
That's not good. I don't like these sounds kind of. Yes. All right, well, that's it. Hello, with jump. Was it that bad what she said? You Lopez. I don't know. It's hard for me to say it. I'm not gonna lie. It was pretty bad. It was pretty bad. Okay, I'll say it. Should I say it? It's horrible. Sorry, Tammy. Tammy, sorry. Tammy, here we go. That bitch Harris is ignorant as fuck. Keep letting all these people over here. They're killing Americans, you stupid bitch. You said you were going to watch the debate. Ooh. Does that sound good? Does that sound good? No, that's not good to me. You know what I mean? That's not good to me. Lopez, that's all you, man. That's not good to me, yo. You know what I mean? Hey, Lopez, that's what she said, right? Okay, yeah, look, yeah. Lopez, you're like, okay, that was bad. Yeah, dude, Lopez, yeah, she's all yours, man. Sounds horrible, man. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I'll tell you, cheers. It's a horrible thing. Horrible thing. Hey, it's horrible. I don't even want to watch this debate shit, really, technically. I'd rather be listening to tunes than watching this debate. Or watching football, yeah. What the hell was it? No, that was real. I'll tell you. Horrible. She was horrible. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I can say it again if you want me to say it again. Oh, Tammy, should I say it again, Tammy? I can say it again. It's a horrible thing. Horrible thing. There it is. That's a horrible comment, Tammy. Tammy, what the hell is that shit? That bitch Harris is ignorant as fuck. You good? All the people over here, they killing Americans. You stupid bitch. So you're calling me a stupid bitch. Oh, that's fine. Said you were going to watch the. Ugh.
Briefly.
That's horrible.
I am not Joe Biden.
And you know what's not horrible though?
Donald Trump
It's this Guinness. What's up? Let me try this
is a
one.
new generation of leadership for our country. One who believes
Oh,
in
what's up?
one who brings
Woo.
a sense of optimism
What's up?
about what we can
Say it
do
again.
instead
What time it said was worse than my bowels?
I believe in what we can do to strengthen our small businesses.
Nice t-shirt. That's some of my favorite. Oh shit, T-Rex.
To give startup
What's
businesses
up?
$50,000 tax deduction.
That's where burgers belong. Oh, Jacob. Jacob, you're a hell of a guy. You're a hell of a guy. What's up? What's up?
Families for the first year of your child's life.
Okay. Pa-pow, 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 pa-pow,
Stage of
pa-pow.
your child's development. I have a plan.
Play some tush. I know. I can go for some tush.
Allowing people to be able to pursue
Where's Bob?
what has been
Oh,
fleeting
Bobby's upstairs.
dream by allowing
What's up, George?
down payment of
What's up?
$25,000
Yeah, pa-pow.
assistance for
Damn, Bobby. You need to come in the chat. These people are asking about it. All right. Peggy. Bob is Bob. Bobby's out there with the aliens. He's upstairs with the aliens, you know.
President Trump, we have to move on. President Trump.
What's up?
To defund the police. She has a plan to confiscate everybody's gun.
President
She
Trump,
has a
you have
plan
to move
to
on.
not allow fracking in Pennsylvania or anywhere.
You know what I'm talking about? You know what I'm talking about? You know what I'm saying? Oh my god, horrible thing, horrible situation. Horrible situation. Tammy's getting very mad. She's saying horrible things. Horrible. You sound like a horrible woman, horrible lady. You know, horrible.
Also known as Obamacare, you have failed to accomplish that. You now say
What's up?
Obamacare, unless we can do something much better.
I need a beer mug with you. I can't.
Working on it. So tonight,
I'll tell you. Cheers, Peggy. I'll tell you.
plan, and can you tell us what it is?
Obamacare was lousy healthcare.
Oh my god, horrible care. Did you get the health care? Did you get the dental, free dental on the house? If you vote for me, you get free dental. Health, everything. You get free everything.
Obamacare, because Democrats wouldn't change it. They wouldn't vote for it. They were unanimous. They wouldn't vote to
Sure.
change it. If they would have done that, we would have had a much better plan than Obamacare. But the Democrats came up, they wouldn't vote for it. I had a choice to make when I was president. Do I save it and make it as good as it can be, never gonna be great, or do I let it rot? And I felt I had an obligation, even though politically it would have been good to just let it rot and let it go away. I decided, and I told my people, the top people, they're very good people, I have a lot of good people in this.
I'll tell you, cheers.
We read about that.
I need a beer mug with your catfish.
So do they. They have really bad ones. The difference is
Give me your t-shirts. T-shirt, free t-shirt, and the house for you. It's gonna
as
be.
good as it can be, or do I let it rot? And I saved it. I did the right thing, but it's still
Well.
never going to be great, and it's too expensive for people. And what we will do is we're looking at different plans. If we can come up with a plan that's gonna cost our people, our population, less.
You know what's going on for the people? What's going on for the people out there? What the fuck is happening? What the fuck is happening?
But until.
What the fuck is going on?
As good as it can be run.
So this
I'll tell you. Yeah, what's going on? What's going on, everyone?
President right
Yeah.
now.
Oh my god, the president, you
Come
know?
up with something, I would only change it if we come up with something that's better and less expensive. And there are concepts and options we have to do that. And you'll be
Look at this guy.
in the not too distant future.
Vice President Harrison.
That looks like soap. It looks like Coca-Cola or something. What's good?
Private insurance and create a government-run healthcare system. 2 years later, you proposed a plan that
Oh, dude.
included a private insurance option. What is your plan today?
Well, first of all, I absolutely support, and over the last 4 years as vice president, private healthcare options. But
I'll tell you. What's for dinner? I was just eating,
I'll get to that, Lindsay.
I just had the roast beef with sweet cheese and with juice.
I made very clear my position on fracking.
It was pretty good. It's not bad.
It was about taking everyone's guns away.
Yeah. Last thing, guys, another sandwich. Just chilling in the No fucking sandwich. No sandwich. Refrigerator. In the fridge. Yo. You know what I mean? Was bicho. Yeah, look, this was a bicho. Sandwich. It was a sandwich. Yeah, it was a sandwich. I have another sandwich. Yeah. Right now, I'm showing another sandwich with a pills. This was bicho. This sandwich.
Who you have disparaged.
You are married? No, I'm not married. If anything, I'm married to Corlette. I guess I'm married to Corlette. But right now, I'm cheating on Corlette. I'm cheating on Corlette right now with Guinness. Yeah. Sorry, Corlette. What's up? What's up? I'm cheating on Corlette. Don't tell Corlette. I'm cheating on Corlette right now.
Remember when an insurance company could deny?
Yeah, I'm drinking Guinness right now.
If someone was a breast cancer survivor, if a grandparent had diabetes, and thankfully, as I
Oh, there it is.
over
That's
the
good.
last 4 years has strengthened
Let's get
the
rid of
Affordable Care Act, we have allowed for the first time
Yeah,
in
to-
on behalf of you, the American people. Donald
You got a
Trump said
drink?
he was gonna allow
Yeah, no, yeah, I'm drinking it. I'm not drinking.
He never did. And now we have
This is
tax
fake.
cuts at $35 a month. Since I've been vice president, we have
Yeah, I'm not drinking. Yeah, maybe I'm drinking, but I'm being responsible. And I'm not driving though, right? That's good. That's all that matters. I'm drinking, staying responsible. I'm not going nowhere. I'm just drinking. I chill for the night. I'm just chilling, Lucky Smith pub, watching this debate. Whatever the hell's going on here. I don't know what the hell's going on in this debate. I'd rather listen to Toads.
Obamacare for 10 years.
Is this Donald again?
All of the Democrats that kept it going.
You sure? What's
Better than
I'm
Obamacare.
cute. You think I'm cute? Oh my god, it's pretty crazy.
Insurance for people, private
What?
medical insurance.
It's pretty good.
That's another thing she doesn't want to get. People that pay
Sure.
that have worked hard and made money and they want to have private. She wants everybody to be on government insurance. where you wait
Cheers.
6 months for an operation that you need to be.
You are married, yeah. What? You are married, yeah. I'm married. Which one? Which one is it? What time do you get up for work? Yeah, like you said, don't drive. What time I get up for work? It's still 10:30. I got some time. Pow, 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 pow.
Well, the former president has
Say like I get ready for bed around like
what we know is that
Say I get ready for bed around like 11 trees.
anyone who lives
Pass them by 12-ish.
experienced these extreme weather occurrences who now is either being denied home insurance.
Yeah, well, I guess it was like 5 hours. I kind of suck. Anyway, yeah, it's all shush. Up to.
And I am proud that as vice president
Cheers,
for the
man.
last 4 years, we have invested $1 trillion in a clean energy economy while we have also increased domestic energy production to
Hello.
historic levels.
Josephine, what's going on?
Over 800,000 new manufacturing
Come back to
jobs.
India, my friend. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I'm not talking about Guinness, but I've ever got spotted by Corlette. Indians. You're gonna be India. You're gonna get Corlette. Get a whole shit with Corlette going to India. Ever get spotted. That's a fact. What's about it? They're both full of shit. Yo, Jimmy Dean, I'm not full of shit, Jimmy Dean. But that's a fact. That's true. If I ever got sponsored, I'm gonna make sure they send the shipment when that's fine, cold, refreshing Corlette to India.
They're all leaving. They're building big auto plants in Mexico. In many cases, like China. They're building
China.
massive plants, and they think they're going to sell their cars into the United States because of these people. What they have given to China is tariffs on those cars, so they can't because they will workers and
Open your hair, cat. What the hell doing? What I do? What I do? Look at that. You talking about that? Look at that shit.
In this country is horrible. We have nothing because they refuse. You know, Biden doesn't go after people because supposedly China paid him billions of dollars. He's afraid to do it between him and his son. They get all this money from Ukraine. They get all this money from all of these different countries. And then
Not you. They're talking. They're lying. China. China. China makes beautiful ties. But you know China or.
$3.5 million. This is a crooked administration, and they're selling our country down the tubes.
Well,
We'll be right back with closing statements from both of our candidates in a historic night. This ABC News presidential debate from Philadelphia.
The ABC News presidential debate.
well,
After this.
To the future of our family. Build a city that people can dream about. Batman's a megalomaniac.
Like being rich.
You can scare people. You're gonna have to prove yourself.
We are going up and they are going down. The alligators have the right idea. They say,
I'll touch it.
through the heart of his
I am touch.
unforgettable scenery with Viking. Unpack once and get
Look
closer
what?
to iconic landmarks, local life, and cultural treasures. Because when you experience Europe on a Viking longship, you'll spend less time getting there.
Okay, I can't wait for Tamer to come back. It's gonna be a whole thing.
Exploring the world in comfort.
No, I'm not gonna lie. No, Tamer sounds like a fucking piece of shit. I'm not gonna lie. So, yeah, that's it. Tamer, yeah, Lopez. Tamer's all you, man. That's horrible. How long did you put in time? 30. I did 30 minutes. I did 30 minutes. No, that was horrible. That was horrible, man. Ugh. Yeah. See, no offense to you, Tammy. Say that shit to somebody else. Don't take it out on me. You know? Say that shit to someone else. That's it. What the hell you do? What's going on? What's going on? That's it. What the fuck? Holy shit, what the hell? Holy hell. Your hoe? Not you. Chinese prime, they brought Lynn around, but oh my god. All this politics, but Junior Crib. What the hell's going on here? Horrible things. What the hell is this shit? Politics. I don't know, yeah. Lopez, talk about politics, horrible. It's horrible. Horrible things. I don't like talking about politics. I don't know why I had the debate. I don't even care about this debate. It's not for me. Capiche? That's how I feel. I'd rather watch the football games. That's a lot better for me. I'll tell you, John. I'd rather watch the football games. That's what I rather do. Watch this. Thursday night footballs coming up. 2 minutes, right? 2 minutes, capiche? Thursday night footballs. You know I'll probably go game less a little bit. Don't worry about me, guys. Favorite South Park character? Tyler. You're a Tyler. Tyler is my favorite South Park character. I'll tell you. Angel, I go Tyler. This you take me down. You taking down the fucking town. Take me down. Tyler. Lopez, I go Tally from South Park, L character, every guy. Yeah. You should take it down! Devon down!
I'm Attorney John Heyman. Thanks to those who joined
I'll
us.
tell ya.
Safety United Run. That is large.
Niners game was over before it started. You drawing a 24 star set? What's the 24? What's the star for? A hothead. What's the star? What's the star between 24 and 7? What's that for? What the? What the?
So I think you've heard tonight two very different visions for our country. And the other that is focused on the past and an attempt to take us backward. But we're not going back. And I do believe that the American people know we all have so much more in common than what separates us. And we can chart a new way forward. And a vision of that includes having a plan, understanding the aspirations, the dreams, the hopes, the ambition of the American people, which is why I intend to create an opportunity economy, investing in small businesses, in new families, in what we can do around protection of seniors, what we can do that is about giving hardworking folks a break and bringing down the cost of living. I believe in what we can do together that is about sustaining American society in the world and ensuring that we have the respect that we so rightly deserve.
See, it's a grand slam.
Respecting our military and ensuring we have the most lethal fighting force in the world. I believe that we protect our fundamental rights and freedoms.
Flash. It's Lopez. Flash. Just flash.
And not have our government tell her what to do. I'll tell you, I started my career as a prosecutor. I was a DA, I was an attorney general, a United States senator, and now vice president. I only have one client, the people. And I'll tell you, as a prosecutor, I never asked a victim or witness, are you Republican or Democrat?
Just other things.
Are you okay?
Other things.
And that's the kind of president.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm not really feeling this. I'm not really feeling this whole presidential debate. You know, I think about the whole debate. I don't really care about this.
And focus on what we can do over the next 10 and
I'm not really feeling this. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not feeling this debate. Yeah.
Vice President
So he just
I'll tell you, Minish. And Lopez, I really hear some tunes. I really hear some tunes. I mean, even from listening to Metallica, I really listen to Metallica. You know, Lows, Reloads, Black Albums. One of those albums, pretty good. I really listen to that. Rock on. I'll tell you, that's how I feel. That's how I feel. I feel like I just, I'll tell you.
things that are going to make this country strong, whether you like it or not. Germany tried that, and within 1 year they were back to building normal energy plants. We're not ready for it. We can't sacrifice our country for the sake of bad vision. But I just asked one simple question. Why didn't she do it?
Woo! That's for Tam. Alright, hello, ladies and gentlemen.